Le Mans Ultimate really has come a long way since it started its early access over a year ago now. I already enjoyed it back then, but something was still missing and it had some severe problems. Now though, it's one of the best sims on the market in my opinion. The addition of GT3s really helped LMU becoming more beginner friendly. The racing is mostly pretty great, both in single and multiplayer, and even in single classes. But if you add multi-class to the mix with the crazy LMP2s and hypercars, you can really have some awesome moments with fun and exciting racing. There's a lot to talk about with Le Mans Ultimate. But for today, let's start slow while we get up to speed and I show you an online race in the GT3 Beginner Series. And while we're getting lined up for this race start at Spa, let's talk about the GT3 class. Because believe it or not, this game launched without it. Because back then, the World Endurance Championship, which this game is based on, was still running GTEs. Biggest difference being, GTEs do not have ABS, while GT3s do. And I think that's one of the main reasons that the GT3 class, over all the sim titles that we have, is one of the most, if not the most popular car racing class. And I think it's also the main reason why now the game Le Mans Ultimate is way more approachable for beginner drivers. But we can talk more about that later on as we're now getting started. And I have a little bit of a weird lineup here. Maybe it was a little bit too slow to catch up, but we are still in a good position. And I need to preface this before this race. I was not looking in this race to gain many positions, to gain my rating, at least not the driver rating. What I was after in this race is safety rating, because it is very important when you start out in Le Mans Ultimate multiplayer. Safety rating will unlock so many new things that you can do, because this is still the beginner series. And maybe you can tell, well, maybe this would look kind of similar in higher rated lobbies as well, but yeah, already saw a spin at the top of a Rouge, and somehow on the straight another contact led to a BMW, I think, spinning. And I was surprised that nothing more happened. Even behind, I was checking the mirror. Yeah, kind of crazy start already, and you can see there's more craziness going on, but as I said, I'm taking it very careful. I don't care that I now lost a couple of positions. This is not what this race is about for me, because as I said, the rating system in multiplayer is set up in a way that safety rating, at least in the beginning, is super important, because you can only race 2 series when you are starting out, which is this beginner GT3 only series and a beginner LMP2 series. There is no multi-class, there is no hypercars. All of that will be unlocked, at least in multiplayer, only if you have a decent safety rating already. So this is what I'm focusing on right now. Because as I've said in the last video, I haven't been racing much at all lately, and if I was just racing for fun here in Le Mans Ultimate, mostly single player, and only recently I decided to, well, go a little bit into multiplayer again, which I have enjoyed. This is like my 3rd or 4th race, I think, since I came back to Le Mans Ultimate and actually properly started racing once again, also here in multiplayer. And well, yeah, as I said, it's a beginner series, so there are people that are just total beginners, and you will be able to see that. But overall, still, this race was quite clean, and you'll be able to see more of that as we progress here. But so far, we've settled into a solid P10. I think lost a position from where I started, but as I said, not that important. As long that we have a clean race, I'm super happy. So, while we have the chance here, because I will take it quite careful and not go for any stupid moves, we have time to talk about some things that happened during the, over a year since the last video that I made on Le Mans Ultimate. So as I said, back then there were only GTEs, LMP2s and hypercars, all of which did not have ABS, which is, for a beginner, very difficult to get into, because no ABS means you can easily lock up the brakes, and locking up the brakes means, well, you start sliding, and the tires get flat, get flat spots. This is all, it's all a compounding effect that if you are not really, like, you can't really drive them all that well yet, especially brake in them very well, it will just get worse over the course of a race. So that is why I think GT3s are the perfect addition, because they are a lot more beginner friendly because of ABS. That doesn't mean that GT3s are like super easy to drive in this. I think it's a fair representation from what I know. I've driven GT3s in a lot of different games and sims. My favorite so far being Assetto Corsa Competizione, and that still is a great game, but for me the driving here in Le Mans Ultimate just feels better. And that's both from the force feedback, which just has a lot more detail, and I just feel more connected to the car and the tires, but also just the driving physics and the netcode in this game. As you can see, yes, even with good netcode that can happen. I think there was some contact that led to that spin, and we have a little bit of contact here, but that's one of the nice things. A little bit of door-to-door contact in Le Mans Ultimate really doesn't do much most of the time. You can have a lot of good door-to-door racing in this because the netcode is really good, which means a little bit of contact will not lead to an instant spin, at least not all the time. It can happen, of course, but I've heard a lot of people say that as well, that Le Mans Ultimate has one of the best netcodes in all of the sims out there. And that is another reason why I really like it. Also, to me at least, the graphics look better than ACC, but I think that's subjective. I do really like the graphics here though, and also it's running quite well on my system, which isn't the best. And then there's the sound, which to me, even in these GT3s, but especially in the LMP2 and the hypercars, is just magnificent. I really do like them. By the way, we're gonna, in this race, jump forward a little bit. I think it's like about a lap or 1.5, because nothing really major was happening, but well, I was at least keeping up with the guys in front and sometimes having a little bit of a run on them. And you can see here, I at least try to, like, I'm not being passive all the time because of the safety rating. I still want to race, and well, as you can see, I think I made him struggle a little bit by going for that mover, but it was still clean and I didn't force anything here. The only problem being with doing that, as you can see in the mirror, someone else is now catching up, which, because I get a bad exit here, will mean that he will be able to at least try to overtake me here. We'll see if he actually goes for it. I mean, we are coming up to Blanchiment, which on Spa side by side is a bad idea, and he knows it and he backs out. And that's something that I've noticed a lot of the time. I mean, of course you have drivers in these lobbies where sometimes stuff just goes wrong. By the way, going wrong, at this point you saw the BMW in the mirror. He was spinning and I was like, did I hit him? I didn't feel anything, so I checked the replay afterwards and you will be able to see, actually no, there was no contact at all. Let's check it from his perspective as well. I think just because he had to take a tighter line, went on the curb and maybe a little bit too much on the gas, he just spun by himself. So I was kind of happy that it wasn't me. But yeah, even if you're trying to be very careful and just protect your safety rating or get that up, you still can have some, or make some great moves and have some nice racing. Not saying that I'm like particularly great in this race. I'm still kind of trying to get back into sim racing with Le Mans Ultimate, and I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, this race was like not super eventful, but still a lot of fun to drive, and we did jump ahead 2 laps once again because I was just trying to catch up to these 2 Mustangs in front of me, and well, there's some stuff going on, and I was behind them for a little bit, and I was trying to feel out if there was a chance to maybe overtake at least one of them somewhere. They were fighting as well, so there definitely was a chance. But yeah, has been quite a lot of fun to get back into racing here on the Ultimate. So just to talk a little bit about what else has been going on over this more than a year that I haven't made videos on the Ultimate. So there were a couple of tracks that were added, which is kind of nice, as for example Imola was I think added, Interlagos is another track. Maybe I'm missing something. I think there are 10 tracks in total right now, with another one coming in the next update. And yeah, the GT3 class and also some more cars in the existing classes. So in the hypercars I think there were like 1 or 2 additions. Yeah, that's basically about it. There were also a lot of updates to the physics and stuff, even for these GT3s, which came in sometime the autumn of last year, I think. And by the way, as I get a nice exit here, I was thinking about going for a move, but once again, Eau Rouge, side by side, if you don't know that someone is actually able to keep it clean there, why go for it? I was just slowing down and just biding my time and just trying to see if there was another opportunity to make a move. So yeah, physics update, for example, for the GT3s, a completely new tire model was added quite recently, I think, and I feel the driving is really, really great on these. As I said, it just feels right to drive these GT3s here. It's like one of my favorite renditions of how GT3 driving feels. I mean, I'm not one who can talk about if this is accurate, realistic or something, but it's fun. It's really fun, and it's like you feel connected, and that is really awesome to see. There were also AI improvements. I might be able to show you an AI race later in the video if you'd like to see that. It's definitely a lot of fun to drive against AI right now. Even multi-class, it has improved quite a lot since the beginning, and yeah, it's actually just fun to sometimes just do a race against AI. You can also set the difficulty in a way, at least for me, where it's quite challenging, and I can even set the AI that I have no chance against them. So that's great to see. But yeah, there were a lot of additions, and there are also more coming. The next update or next DLC will bring, as I said, another track. There will also be 2 more GT3s. I think right now there are 7, and with 2 more will be at 9 then, which is a nice amount. And also balance, as far as I can tell, is pretty good. I mean, it's probably not perfect with the BOP, but yeah, overall it's pretty good. By the way, let's quickly focus on the race once again, because I was actually trying here to set up for a little bit of a move and yeah, get it done, because the Mustang in front made a mistake, and that means that I'm well, at least I have a good chance for T1 here, and I was just on purpose braking very late so that this guy wouldn't go for the inside and well, give me a hard time there, and it actually worked out. I missed the apex by at least a little bit, but it meant that I was able to keep clear, and well, we're now in front and in P6, which from starting 9th I think and then falling back to, was it 10th or something, is totally fine. As I said, this race for me is not about position or the driver rating, it's about safety. So yeah, that's basically, I think I've talked about most things that were added. From what I know, the developers are planning a full release this year, so in 2025, with even more content. I wonder what that's gonna be. I don't think we have much detail. It's only what's available with information is, as I said, the new track and the new cars for the next update, and also, which is great for people that like to drive endurance. By the way, here you can see a little bit of contact. In pretty much any other sim, this could have easily been a spin for the Mustang, because I was hitting him decently hard, but the contact physics in this are just amazing. So yeah, I said this before, but it's just great racing on the Ultimate. So yeah, additions for the next update are teams and driver swaps, which, as I said, for endurance-based races will be pretty great, and I'm looking forward to at least watch other people drive endurance. I personally don't have the time to actually drive endurance races, but maybe in the future, who knows. But yeah, I'm very happy right now with just these shorter races in multiplayer. This was a 20-minute race. It's totally fine for me, and I really do enjoy the racing on this. I think I'm repeating myself here, but yeah, it is this way. And another thing that I said before, the racing is quite clean, and you can see here, I mean, it's the last lap, last corner. You might expect someone to go for some kind of stupid move because they can just get the final position here. But actually no, I mean, there was a little bit of weaving in the front, but overall it was just very clean and very fun race. Said not like super terribly interesting maybe, but yeah, even these races are amazing. And you could see that my approach to this of trying to get more safety rating paid off in the end, and you could see what I was doing to get there, because you probably could have even gained a lot more. We did have some invalid laps and we did have 2 contacts, but even still we gained safety rating nonetheless and finished in P6. And if I saw this correctly here on the sheet, we actually also managed to get the fastest race lap, which I was also very happy about. I'm getting up to speed. I'm not anywhere near where I would like to be and where I maybe was in the past, but it doesn't matter. It's all in good fun, and I, as I said, am really, really enjoying this. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do more multiplayer racing in the future. If that's something that you would like to see, let me know in the comments and leave a like on the video while you're at it. And yeah, let me know what are your experiences with No More Ultimate. Have you been racing it lately, or have you maybe in the past? Let me know what your experiences are and how the game has come along in this, well, over a year now that it's been out in early access. As I said before, I do really think they have done quite a lot, and they are doing even more to make this a really great alternative to race in, at least if you like GT3s, hypercars or LMP2s. I mean, the license is a little bit limited, and I think they could definitely use more tracks. I hope that will come in the future. But yeah, they're definitely on a good track, and the game is very enjoyable. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below. I would really like to hear from you. And if you've made it this far, consider subscribing if you haven't already. I would really appreciate that. But that's it from me. Thanks a lot for watching. I've been HD Racing. See you in the next one.